every little thing just scared me. Like, I was just so scared. Like, I'm so on. You already started. Ooh, don't hold back now. Show me that you want it. I know you want it. How bad do you want it? Tell me how you gonna work for it. Yeah. If you're trying to put it on me, you ain't gotta leave until the morning. Ooh, I can't waste time playing these little games. It's really night, and I am back with another video. This is, as you can tell by the title, it is not a fun video, even though I have this bubbly personality and I just love to smile and things like that. But what I'm talking about today is not really that happy. It's my anxiety. I just wanted to give you guys a rundown of my mental health and things like that. I've never been medically diagnosed with anxiety. I don't know. I think a lot of us, we all have anxiety in us, but I think that when you say I have anxiety to the level that I feel I have anxiety, it can be categorized as a mental illness. I have not been diagnosed, just as a disclaimer, but I just wanted to get on here because I recently went on a trip and I just wanted to just share how my anxiety was extremely triggered. I don't really have like social anxiety or anything like that. My anxiety is due to like events, or like it's mostly like a PTSD type of situation. I get anxiety in like high stressful environments. Like just recently I went on a trip. If you guys, you know, are on my channel, you guys will see that vlog. I went to Vegas. Ooh. I went to Vegas and it was great. But I wanted to talk about how anxious I was on the plane ride. I was so anxious to the point where I started crying. And it wasn't like a fear. It was just like every little thing just scared me. Like, I was just so scared. Like, I was just scared of the possibilities. I wasn't in control. I had someone had my life in their hands, and I try to be in situations where I don't let that happen. Like I got into a car accident. My car flipped 3 times years ago, and I try not to put myself in situations where I feel like the person drives too fast and things like that. Like, I've been in a car with people who driven too fast, and I get out the car. Like, I don't put myself in situations like that. So I was on the plane, and I was so scared of the turbulence. I know I'm not the only one that's scared of turbulence. Like, and I read up on it. Like, I literally researched everything. And turbulence doesn't even make the plane crash. But it's always so scary because it's just scary. Like, you're up in the air. So a plane shaking or moving back and forth and things like that, it's scary. Like, I don't like it. I don't think that I'll ever like flying. My anxiety was triggered to like 200. Like, I feel like my anxiety was just like ridiculous. Like, it was crazy, and I just couldn't control it. Like, it was like my stomach, my mind, my body was just like out of control. I started crying. This is the first time I ever started crying. Like, I've flown before, but I was crying, like real tears. Like, I was so afraid. And I just wanted to come on here and talk about that and share that with you guys, because I get anxious with a lot of things. I get anxious when I'm on a long car ride. I get anxious being late. Like, I can't stand being late for something, especially like work or things that aren't in my control. Like, I get really, really anxious, and it just like takes over me. Like, things that I don't know. I don't like to like have an issue and then I'm at work for 8 hours and I can't like solve the issue until I get home. So like that whole entire day I'm thinking about it, and it just cripples me. Like, and sometimes people can think that you have an attitude or that you're sad, but it's not the same feeling. Like, the way I feel when I'm anxious is not the same way I feel when I'm sad. So that's why it's hard to explain to people, because you kind of look the same as when you're sad or like upset. And it's just like, I'm not always upset. Usually I'm just really, really anxious. And I'm an overthinker, which doesn't help my anxiety at all. I think about 1,000,001 things all day. I think about 1,000 possibilities. And I wish that I didn't do that, because it really triggers my anxiety to capacity. Like, it triggers me to the point where it's like I'm not even dealing with my day-to-day on a normal level. So, I count to 10. I actually count to 10. I breathe in really slowly and I breathe out really slowly. I do things like that. I watch certain shows. Like, if I'm home and I start to get anxious, I watch certain shows. Certain shows. I watch shows. One of them being Gilmore Girls. I love Gilmore Girls. And one thing that I also do is I drink wine. I don't recommend that, because it starts to be like a self-medicating, an unhealthy self-medicating thing. But I do that, and I have done that, which has contributed, unfortunately, to my weight gain, because wine has a lot of sugar, and I'm trying to combat that. But that was some things that I used to relax me and relax my anxiety. I get really anxious after work and before work. It's weird. Like, my anxiety has peaked in my adulthood. I've been an anxious child. I've dealt with, trauma. My mom and my dad are deceased now. If you guys want a story time about that, comment down below. I will let you guys know. If you would like to know more about me and my history and my parents and things like that, you can just comment down below and let me know if you would like to know about that story time. But I just wanted to talk about my anxiety, and those are sometimes things that trigger me. My mom died when I was young, so I have a daughter now, and in certain situations, like life or death situations, where that can be a possibility that I would get hurt or die and things like that, I think about that, because I don't want to leave my daughter how my mom left me, or you know what I mean. So that's why I was really, really afraid on a plane, because for one, it wasn't only me on the plane, it was also her dad. So the things that I was thinking about, like, I think that I may have not been as anxious if it was just me, because then I'm like, okay, look, my daughter has her dad still and things like that, but we were on the trip together. So it really, really triggered me, almost like it was like worse, because like, if anything happens to us both on this plane, what is our kid gonna do? And so, and maybe some people feel like it's justified, like with things like that. My fears aren't just for me. My fears and anxiety are for my daughter and the safety and the sake of her and her life. So, I don't know if my anxiety will ever go away. I hope that it gets better. I hope that, in the future, things can kind of simmer down, because it's really hard. Like, it's getting, I feel like it's getting worse with life and with working and just dealing with day-to-day things. Like, as an adult, I know we all want to grow up, like all these teenagers out here want to be grown and things like that, but when you're dealing with adult things and life starts to happen, it's so hard. So I just feel like everybody, just make sure you talk to somebody. Don't be ashamed that you feel overwhelmed, if you feel anxious. I'm on here just to let everyone know that it's normal to have anxiety. You don't have to think of it as like, oh, this crazy mental illness, like make you feel like you're crazy. Like, some people will make you feel like you're crazy when you say that, but like, I've been mentioning it more and more and openly, because I know that I have it and I know that's my issue, so I'm not going to hide it. I feel like saying it kind of prevents people from thinking that you're sad or you're mad and things like that, because that's not the only emotion that you can have. That's not the only thing that can be going on inside you. So I just wanted to come on here and just talk about that, because like, literally, I was on my way from work today and I just immediately just got anxious. Like, my ride home was a little longer than I anticipated, and I started to get anxious, and I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna talk about this. Like, I'm gonna turn my camera on and I'm gonna talk about it with my people. I'm building this YouTube just to show you guys a different side of me, and for you guys to get to know me. And yeah, so that's basically it. I was really, really anxious on the trip, and I couldn't even wait to get home to my kid. Like, I'm the one that planned this trip. I'm the one that wanted to go on this trip initially, and I couldn't wait to get home to my daughter. Like, and that's what made the plane ride coming back even more anxious. And the bad part about it is I had a layover. I will never do layovers ever again. I don't care how long the flight is. There will not be a layover for me, because getting on a plane and being afraid of it, and then getting off the plane, it made it so much worse. Like, because I'm like, oh my God, I gotta do this again. I gotta take off again. I gotta land again. Like, next time I plan a trip, if it's up to me, I will not have no layovers. I don't care how long it takes me to get there, because it was so nerve-wracking. Like, it was so tedious and so nerve-wracking. So I'm just gonna have to pay the extra money or whatever it costs and just do a straight flight, because I can't do any stops. I can't do that. Like, for me and my anxiety and who I am, I won't do it. Some people say just don't fly, but as an artist, if you guys don't know, I am a musical artist. You guys can actually Google me and my music and things like that. I have the links down below. Whatever. So I will be traveling for music and meet and greets and things like that. And then I want to do YouTube, and I want to travel and meet other YouTubers and do music, you know, different places. And I can't just have so much anxiety. So I want to try to combat it. I may be seeing a doctor soon, because honestly, that last trip, that last ride, really, it's getting worse and worse. And I feel like now that it's getting worse, I think that I should see a doctor. I think that I should probably see, I think it's a psychiatrist or a psychologist or a therapist or whatever I need to just be okay in life. And, you know, it doesn't hurt to go see a doctor. It doesn't, I don't think it'll hurt me to go see a doctor. I've never seen a doctor for my mental illness other than when I was a child, when my mom passed away. That was the only time I had gotten therapy, right after she died, but that was mostly for like grieving. But I want to see a person as an adult and like talk to them about these adult things that are triggering my anxiety. And that's basically it. I just wanted to put that out there and just, you know, on some you are not alone type deal. If someone is watching this and they're anxious about certain things and you're embarrassed, don't be embarrassed. Everybody can feel some type of way and have anxiety. Anybody can have anxiety. So I just wanted to put that out there, and I just want to thank you guys for listening, and thank you for subscribing. If you haven't subscribed, go subscribe now. Put your notifications on, like this video, and there will be more videos to come. And I just want to say thank you for supporting me. Bye, y'all.